For your reading selection today, we are going to be looking at How We Move, and it's a poem by William Vega, and it's illustrated by Jason Dove. And before we get started, I wanted to talk to you a little bit about contractions. And I know that I talked to you earlier this morning about compound words, and that compound words are a way to combine two words into one word. Well, another way to do that would be contractions. Sometimes in speaking and writing, two words are combined into one word. I and will can be combined into to make I'll. So if you read the sentences, I will go to the store, and the sentence, I'll go to the store, they mean the same thing. I will go to the store and I'll go to the store mean exactly the same thing. And the reason I wanted to call that to your attention is because that word I'll is used over and over again in your story. Like I said, we are reading a poem today. And remember that sometimes sentences are broken into parts, and each part has a line of its own in a poem. Often rhyming words are used in a poem, and sometimes words are repeated in a poem. So we'll have to keep careful lookout for all of those things and see if our poem today has any of those qualities. The comprehension strategy that I wanted to focus on today is making connections. And when you connect your own experiences to the poem, it helps you better understand what the poet is describing. And you also can make connections between the descriptions in the poem and the illustrations. And maybe you even make connections between the poem that you're reading today and something else that you've read in the past. So there's the essential question is, how do wheels help toys move? As we read How We Move, I want you to think about that question. How do wheels help toys move? I'll push my little shopping cart. I'll pull my wagon too. Now, good readers make connections with what they already know and what they are reading. I had a wagon when I was about your age, and I would pull it, but only when it was empty because it was too heavy for me to pull if something was inside the wagon. So remember, good readers make connections between what they see in the illustrations and the text. And I see in the illustration that the girl is pulling stuffed animals in the wagon. That would be pretty easy to pull, pretty light to pull. I'll use my skates to move me. I know just what to do. I'll turn my new train set. It moves around so fast. Now, as I read on, I can make more connections to the train set. The train in this poem moves around fast, and I saw an electric train set when I was at the fair, and those trains move much faster than the ones that you can just move by hand. So, making connections to what I know about electric toy trains helps me understand the poem better. I'll wave to all the people as the train cars travel past. All right. I want to read that again, and I want to look for some of the elements of poetry in there. So let's look. I'll push my little shopping cart. I'll push my wagon too. I'll use my skates to move me. I know just what to do. Now, I don't see any sentences broken into lines in this one, but I do hear some rhyming words like to and do are a rhyming pair. And I hear some words repeated. This word that we talked about right at the beginning, I'll push, I'll pull, I'll use. So there are some words that are repeated. Let's go down here to the second verse. I'll turn on my new train set. It moves around so fast. I'll wave to all the people as the train cars travel past. Again, I hear fast and past, a rhyming pair. And I do see that this sentence is broken into two different lines. I'll wave to all the people as the train cars travel past. And I know that it's one sentence because here's the period that ends that sentence. Now, the end of that line does have a comma, but a comma doesn't mean the end of a sentence. So, and again, the words I'll are repeated in that. So it does have some words that are repeated. All right, I will make sure that I include your discussion starters today so that you can talk to your big person about this poem.